Hey, this is Tom Payne, and you're listening to KJ and the Kind of Nerdy Girl.
Thank you very much, Tom. Poo-poo-poo-choo, pa-pa-pa-pow. This is a Kind of Nerdy Girl special podcast. I am very, very excited for what you're about to hear. It was very cool to have the opportunity to talk with Tom Payne, who you know from The Walking Dead, and now Prodigal Son, which at the time that we were recording this was coming up on the season finale of season 1. We talk a little bit about the show here, but there's no big spoilers for you. And yes, of course, we talk about Tom's hair and the big change. But the first thing I asked him about was what life was like for him as we all kind of hunkered down to stay home during the coronavirus.
We live in a pretty quiet neighborhood, and there's always stuff to do. Like we have this house, and I have all these big tall trees that I need to start chopping down, and I have a lot of stuff to do. It's not a huge garden, but there's always stuff to do. So I'm just happy to be home, really. After 8 months filming in New York, it's nice to just be at home and not doing much. But I understand everyone else is in a difficult position at this time, so we feel very fortunate.
Before we were talking, I actually was just standing outside because, now I'm doing my show and everything from home, but I was standing outside going, I don't know, maybe I could trim those trees myself.
Yeah. Listen, I bought all of the climbing equipment. I'm ready to get up in there.
No way. Okay, Tom, if you start climbing your trees and figuring out how to trim them, you have got to make a YouTube how to trim your trees with Tom Payne.
I hadn't even thought about that, but that's a great idea.
All right. Well, whenever I have these interviews that are short, and we appreciate your time, and I know you're bouncing sort of from one station to another, I like to get right into some of the questions that our listeners want to know. I know this is not going to shock you that when I asked in the Kind of Nerdy Network, what do you want to know about Tom? The number one question was about your hair. Melissa specifically said, was it hard to let go of those long, lovely locks?
It kind of surprised me because the whole time I was on The Walking Dead, I knew that whenever it finished, it was a great opportunity to play a different character and look completely different with no acting required. Because so many people knew me with the long hair and the beard, so I could immediately look different, which I do on this show. But when I had my hair cut, it did get me emotional, actually. And I realized that because there's so much growth and experiences that have happened in that hair, it's such a weird thing. And that I completely understood why people get emotional about having their hair cut, because it's really like a metamorphosis, like you're changing into something else. So yeah, it was an emotional moment, actually. It kind of surprised me a bit. But it was nice. It's nice to be able to very easily make a transition and change. And so then I understand why people also do it on purpose. They dye their hair or cut their hair in order to move forward. And I do think it works, actually.
Well, I think you're giving hope to a lot of us who, once we finally do get back to our hairdressers and they say this is a mess and it all needs to go, that we can survive.
Well, I actually cut my fiance's hair on Instagram live the other day, and it was all right. We did pretty well.
Oh my gosh! Oh, she is brave.
Well, it was okay. It wasn't like a severe cut. We just did a trim, but it was okay. It was actually good.
It's interesting. I feel like we're all figuring out, well, I guess I can cut my own hair. I guess I can trim trees.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
One more question about your hair, and then we're going to talk about Prodigal Son, I swear. Laura wanted to know if you saved any of your hair, if it was long enough to donate it, and if you did save any of your hair, if you could donate a lock to her.
No. I have a little bit of it, but I donated most of it, but I have a little bit of it, yeah.
Did you?
I don't think my hair will ever be that long again. I don't think I'll get there, because as an actor, you're always changing your hair for whatever role you have, and it's not often that you get to sit in a television role, first of all, which has long hair, and secondly, for that long, because it took me 3 years to grow that out, and unless I take a break from acting for 3 years, I don't think I'll get there again.
Yeah. Brett wants to know, he said, I love this cast. Michael Sheen is amazing, but my favorite part of the show is when Tom and Keiko Agena are interacting. How do you feel about the crush that Dr. Tanaka has on your character?
I think it's just wonderful. Keiko is the most amazingly funny performer, and she does it in different ways each time. She always keeps it fresh, and because, it is kind of, she does in every scene that we have together have this burning crush, which is just, and she's very sensitive to him as well, and I just love Keiko so much, and she's a very funny, gifted performer, and even in the last episode that happened this week, when I love that they have this bantery dialogue over these dead bodies, but then this week he knew the dead body, and she sensed that, and then it changed the dynamic between them, which was really sweet. And I have to say, in this finale that comes up on Monday, there's that relationship is moved a little bit more forward. See it develop a little bit, which is kind of fun.
Oh my gosh, it's going to move forward, and then we have to wait for season 2. And then Mandy specifically wanted to know, in talking about Michael Sheen, what it is like to do those scenes with him.
Yeah, I mean, Michael's just a wonderful actor, and those scenes are a bit of a gift, really, because you're shooting just in that square room, and it's kind of like doing a play with just two people facing off against each other. And so they're a lot of fun. They're very stressful and emotional to do just naturally because, Malcolm just wants a hug from his dad, but his dad's a crazy serial killer. So that dynamic exists as soon as he walks into the room.
Finally, Retta doesn't have a question, but she's going in for surgery today, and she just wanted you to know that when she found out that you were going to be on the show, that was the most exciting thing, that she is going into surgery knowing she's going to wake up and hear you.
Oh, that's so nice. So I hope the surgery goes very well, and the recovery does too. That's so nice. It's nice to know that my little foreign British voice can brighten someone's day.
Oh, well, you know what, Tom, it has brightened my day. It's so nice to connect with you again, and it's great to have you on TV again. And I'm a fan of this show. It's just, it captures you and what you all are doing as a cast, in developing these characters so quickly and so much depth. We're all very excited to see what's going to happen on the finale on Monday night. And very hopeful for what is ahead in season 2.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tom. I really do hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, KJ.